Okay. I am so flustered. I turned on my computer to get ready to do the show and got the blue screen of death. I don't know what happened. I haven't touched that computer since I did the last show. Turn it on and it's blue screen. I'm like, what in the entire hell is this? So then I tried a couple of things. Those didn't work. So finally I had to hook my stuff up to my daughter's computer, which of course is not set up, with any of my stuff on it. So I had to make a whole new profile. It's just, that's why I'm late. I was doing all of that stuff to get before I could even make the show, come on. But anyway, I'm here. I'm already exhausted just from all of that, the stress of it. But let's hopefully, you guys will enjoy yourselves with the questions that we have for you today. Get myself situated here. We got, as usual, 25 questions on deck. This is an advice, live stream advice show where people write in their questions in advance and you each. Okay, there we go. You're making a Cornish hen? Nice. I'm not making nothing. Anyway, here I am. I'm steadily booking guests for our February 15th live stream. It's going to be about 5-6 hours long. We've cut February down to one day, not every day for a month like it used to be. Can't do it no more. I'm too old, too tired. And just the thought of it makes me just want to go to bed. But I do have one day. This is the little promotional banner for it that we got going right now. I will be creating another one that's going to have the images of the speakers and what time that they'll be on, appearing during the day. They'll have like a 30-minute slot. In between, we'll talk about other topics, do some advice questions, some audience participation, some polls. It's going to be a whole full day of fun stuff for you. So that's Saturday, February 15th. Please mark your calendar. You can find this page on the wall for the channel, and then you can set yourself a reminder. But you probably should still put it on your calendar independently because what I hear is that the YouTube reminders are kind of iffy. But they can't be any more iffy than me. But I do promise to be there on the 15th on time because I have a lot of people coming through. I think I have about 6 guests scheduled for that day. So let's get started with these advice questions. There's 25 of them. Let me get over to the
comments. Make sure. Oh, Detroit, natural market. Get those that corner she ain't can make itself. What you doing? And then she got to make the corner. She's like she going out with her musket to go and hunt it up and stuff. Girl, if you don't stop. Question number 1. This is a young lady from the 28 to 34 age group from Chula Vista, California. Summary of issue. I feel like knowing my worth has made dating a lot harder. Oh. I know this sounds conceited, but I feel like dating has gotten so much harder now that I realize what a catch I am. Oh, I am decently attractive. I've gone to law school on a full ride. Okay. I have a stable job, stable finances, good friends. I volunteer at least twice a month, and I am in the process of commissioning my art after a few people expressed an interest in buying. I'm working towards being trilingual. Oh, good for you. I can barely speak English. People often comment on how charming and funny I am. I don't need someone who's 6 feet tall or hip or wealthy. I just want someone who's emotionally available, intelligent, passionate, with values that align with my own. I want someone who challenges and inspires me. Why is that so hard to find? Any tips for me? I don't know what's available in Chula Vista, California, but sometimes you just gotta. The local talent is really not that talented. But I'll tell you what I have. Something that I've said a long time. People say, well, that's why you're single. Dudes like to throw that in your face. You're still single. Even this. Who's the women who are single? The ones with standards. The ones who won't just take anybody. The women who do know their worth. Those are the ones who are single. The women that bounce from man to man, and like monkey branch from dude to dude, relationship to relationship. You never see them without somebody. Those are the ones who don't know their worth because they will take any and everybody as long as it's a breathing man. The women who know their worth are picky. They have standards. They're going to make the guy meet a certain level of accomplishment and education and the way that he treats them. Otherwise, he's going to be dismissed from their life. And so they will stay single until they find the man that matches them. Now, a lot of people say, might feel like what you just said here when you begin your letter, that it sounds conceited, and it really doesn't. It sounds like somebody who knows they have a lot to offer, is socially, those are called social, those are social things. Those are things that are valued out in the world. Now, what do you have to offer in an intimate relationship? Now, you didn't talk about those, and those are things I always ask people, males and females. Okay, what did you have to offer a partner? What's going to make them feel good about being with you every day? What's that part? And so, the volunteering is good, I guess, but still, that's still a social thing as well. So everything that you talked about are social things, like really like the way that women typically judge men. But what you have to think about too, I want you to make another list of what you have to offer internally. How are you going to make a man feel good about being with you? How are you going to make him feel that it's a safe place for him to open up? How are you going to make him feel like it's a great place to rest his heart, for him to slow down, where he can rush home and feel comfortable being there and do a woosah? Those are kind of things that you need to think about. And then you add those things to this list. If you can't come up with nothing, then that's why, you have some work to do. In spite of you having done all these wonderful accomplishments, you're not finished yet. Okay. So I'll just put it that way. I'm not saying you're not on a good path, 28 to 30 or so, probably. So you got a good start, but think about that other part, because that's what's going to make a man want to be with you, not this other stuff. They don't care about. I mean, they kind of care, but it's not going to, if you don't have those things, it's not going to make them rule you out. Men go for the woman who makes them feel good, bottom line. They go for the woman who they feel like is a good deal. She's such a good deal that they can't figure out how they would live their life without her in it. Okay, you got to figure out what you got to offer along those lines. Let's move on to question number 2. This is a young man in the 22 to 27 age group from Tacoma, Washington. Summary issue. Do you think it's wrong to be friends with someone who confessed to you while you were in a relationship? Well, what the hell do you think? Are you just being obtuse right now? Let's say you're in a happy long-term relationship. Basically, you're with the person that you plan to spend your life with. And let's say a longtime female friend confesses their love for you, but you do not feel the same. And let's say they are fully aware that you are in a happy relationship. Would you remain friends with this person? Also, let's say your partner now has a problem with you being friends with this person because they confess to you. I need to hear what other women think. Ladies, share your opinion. I will definitely be sharing mine. What do you think? Your man has a female friend that confesses to him that she loves him and he want to stay friends with this bitch. What how would you handle that? Let everybody answer at the same time. Just type your answer in the chat. Type your answer in the chat and let me know what you think. I'll tell you what I would do. I would tell him, well, let's flip the script here. I have a male friend and he confesses his love to me, but he want to be hanging around all the time talking about he's still my friend. How would you feel about that? And most dudes, I mean, I'm telling you, they don't get it until it involves them and their feelings. As long as it's only your feelings that are at risk, they just act just like all brand new, like they don't get it. You start telling them about some dude and how the dude's gonna be all up in your face and wanting to go on trips with you and weekends and hang out and giggle on the phone all night and stuff like that, like friends do. Then suddenly the light comes on and they be like, oh, blinking and just, looking all twisted up in the face because they get it then. So I would tell my boyfriend, I said, okay, you trying to create a situation where you gonna be having all this ego boost because you got two women in love with you. No, motherfucker, you just don't have one because it's not gonna be me. So you either decide you're gonna have her in your life or you're going to have me. It's not going to be both. One thing I refuse to do is feel like I'm in any kind of competition for your time, attention, money, or heart. Definitely not your body. We're not going to do that. So she already told you how she feels about it. You can't, that is the reality now. She does not want to be your friend. She wants to be your girlfriend lover. Okay, so if you keep her around, that's giving her tacit agreement that you're okay with that. That's what that means. So you sit up there and you make a decision and then you let me know what the fuck you decide. And I'd already be packing my stuff because the fact that he even had to ask that to me shows that he's an idiot. And one thing I don't want to do is have myself be affiliated with a fool. But yeah, can you believe that he had the nerve to even ask that? His poor girlfriend, she must be losing her mind. Let's move on. Question number 3 of 25. We got 25 questions tonight. The young man in the 22 to 27 age group from Nottingham, England. Summary of issue. Did I make the right decision? Well, let's see. Did you? I matched with a girl who was really into me and made it very obvious, but we'd only known each other for 5 days. She would get really anxious when I didn't reply within 1 to 4 hours, asking if I was still alive and sending me a bunch of messages. What? We clicked on literally everything else, and he using that they, them shit. I hate that shit. And I'm going to change it to she. She asked, and she admitted it was because of her trauma. See how I mean? They use this weird language. I don't like that. But it sucks because if it wasn't for this one thing, we probably would have become official at one point. However, it was causing me so much anxiety and pressure and stress to keep this girl updated at all times that after 2 days or so, I told her it wasn't going to work out. I'd already communicated to her twice that if I didn't reply for a few hours, I'm just busy. It's not because I don't like her or ghosting or anything. I just need some space. And she even acknowledged that when I told her this, when she started panicking in my DMs when I didn't respond for 2 hours, but then said that they had to make sure I was okay. This would scare anyone off, right? That just doesn't seem sustainable at all. And it's the fact that we hadn't even known each other for a week. Yeah, she's got that, what they call it, that anxious attachment. The common sense. I almost wasn't here because my computer that I have for my live stream, I'm using my daughter's computer right now. That's why I was 15 minutes late because I had to switch everything over. And when I turned it on, it came up with the blue screen. I'm like, what is this? Because it was fine when I logged off last week when I did the last show, but turned it on today and it's all messed up. So I don't even know what happened. I know what though. I'll just get a new one. It's a little cheap thing I bought off of Amazon for about $100 and something bucks. It costs more to repair it than it does just throw it out and get another one. Because that's the only thing I use it for is live streaming. It's just a little mini computer. Anyway, so let's move on. Yeah, she sounds like a nut. That anxious attachment style, that doesn't work. Question number 4. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from London, England. Summary of issue. I'm baffled by sudden ghosting. I went on a second date last week with a guy I've been chatting with for 3 months. The last date was actually 3 months ago, but I wasn't sure if I liked him after the first one. I kept meaning to meet up with him again, but things just kept coming up on both of our ends. He was 2 hours late turning up last week, but other than that, the date went well. 2 hours and you were still there? And I found I was surprisingly attracted to him this time. I invited him back for a cup of tea after a few drinks, and we had a bit of a gropey kiss before we left. And he asked when I was next free, so I said this weekend. He's been chatting normally all of this week. On Thursday, he sent me a peen pic. Oh my God, these dudes just have no sense at all. Saying, I think you would have done a lot more than cop to feel if I stayed much longer. I replied saying that I was turned on, but that I don't usually do all of that on a second date, and that as long as he didn't think I'd invited him back for that reason. He said absolutely not at all. He'd never assumed that, but that he just got carried away. I texted him on Friday night saying, it's okay if I let you off, LOL. How was your day? And he just hasn't replied or opened the message. No mention of the date we penciled in or anything. He's been consistent with communication for the last 3 months. Any thoughts? I'm so baffled and so sick of this flaky, confusing behavior from men. It just makes my head spin. Well, I'm going to tell you, I can't read his mind, but I'm going to tell you this. In a situation like this, sometimes, you think that the dude is seriously wants to get busy with you. Most of the time it's a test. I mean, the real hoe dogs dudes will be serious about it, but it's still a test anyway. So when men barely know you, you girls listen to this, don't be stupid. And some dude sends you a peen pic, and then he's like groping on you and stuff on the first and second date, and you tell him you turned on and all so stupid shit, you treating yourself like a trollop, and you're communicating that to him. You think that it's coming off like, oh, I'm so liberated and this and that. And I'm telling you, men don't think like that. They want something that they feel is hard to get. Even if it's not like, super difficult, ridiculous, they still want to feel like they have to put in some kind of work to get it. If they don't have to put in no work to get it, they know that you would do the same loose and easy shit with other dudes. They don't want that. Even if he got with you, you would never have any value to him. Not like that. Because you didn't value yourself. A woman who thinks that she has something something to offer other than her coochie is not going to behave the way that you did. See, this is like low level, low garbage woman behavior. You don't let men send you dick pics. That's just disgusting behavior on his part, and it's the utmost in disrespect. You didn't even know you was being disrespected, and you went along with it. Oh, I was turned on. You hella stupid. Any man you do get with is going to be garbage, because only a garbage man would treat somebody like this, and then you would accept it. Girl, you need to do better with yourself and your boundaries and your values and your sense of who and what you are as a woman. This dude is trash. There's no way you should be worrying about him texting you back. You should have blocked his ass after he sent you that picture. Oh, thanks, Lala. He didn't get nothing. They didn't really, well, he got the groping, but see, he threw out there though. He sent her the pics. Wait, that was a test. That was a test. They send you these pictures and they looking to see how you gonna react to it. Ladies, if you go along with the trash and you accept that kind of trashy behavior from a dude you don't even fucking know. I mean, it's different if it's your husband or your boyfriend. He's sending you like, you better be ready when I get on, something like that. Well, that's different. But some rando is gonna send you a picture of his junk, and you gonna be talking about, oh, I'm turned on. Well, how can you be turned on by that? This shit is not really cute. I mean, you just, objectively look at them. They're not attractive to look at. So you fucked this up so bad, and I can't believe. Well, you are young, 22 to 27. You young and dumb. You better get your shit together. Okay? Don't be acting like this. Don't be presenting yourself in the world like this. Have some fucking boundaries. Respect for yourself. Okay? Don't let men treat you like this. And you don't go along with it. I'm telling you, any man who you did get with who treated you like this, he wouldn't respect you at all. He would dog you the fuck out, take you for everything he could get from you, and then he would dip. Okay? I'm like, wow. Facts like say she crazy. Yeah, she's got something going on with her. Question number 5. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Grand Rapids, Michigan. The male is also 22 to 27. Same issue, Deb, with a whole bunch of exclamation marks. I just watched my partner yell at his mother over an Amazon package delivery. Wow. And you still with him? No, we. Woo, okay. For context, we've been together for 4 years. We're both 25. I'm both currently staying with his mom to save for a house. But I just witnessed what I think to be a glaring red flag. Oh, you don't even have to think about it. It is a super flag. So an Amazon driver came to the door with a package that required a one-time code. So she came down, said the Amazon guy is here. I've been calling and texting, and he just exploded on her, slammed the door, and said, "Do you see how she talks to me? She's impossible." I tread very lightly on their conflicts because I've had disagreements with my mother, but we always resolve them and ultimately apologize. I wouldn't want to exert my own experience into his relationship with his own mother, but it was almost scary the way he spoke to her over what I thought was nothing. I said to him, I didn't think she did anything bad, and he goes, it's just her tone, which even if she had a tone, she's his mom. She deserves respect in her home. She's nice enough to let us live in. We do pay her rent, but way less than market rate. Now, y'all be packing your shit and getting the fuck out of my house like tomorrow. I've always heard that how a man treats his mother is a reflection of how he's learned to treat women. But what do you think? Immediately after, I went up to apologize to his mother, who was furious, but also in tears, and still got the package for him. Okay, as a mother of a young adult, this here would not have. I threw my daughter out when she didn't even say nothing nearly this bad. I threw her ass out my house. I'm like, oh no, you got to go, chick. Get out. I recently let her move back in because she's having a struggle, but she was gone for 4 years, and guess who didn't care? Because one thing we're not gonna do is have a bunch of bullshit going on in the house where I pay all the bills. It's not gonna happen. So in this situation here, she's calling and texting him to get a code for his package. That's his package now. And he want to act a fool and rant and rave and yell and scream like that. I would have told that UPS man, the Amazon driver, take it back. We don't have no code, take it back. And if he wants to get it, he can make other arrangements at some other address because it's not going to be here. And then I would have went and told my son, get your shit. She can stay, but you got to get the fuck out of my house. And you better do it today. I'm going to call the police to get you up out of here. And I would mean it. You are leaving my house today. Give me them goddamn keys and don't you come back. Now, and I hate to say this, but I'd be packing my little ventilator. And if he tried to get jiggy, I might have had to have him, tap dance some bullets. Because one thing, I just can't do it. We're going to actually talk about disrespect. I got that idea earlier today. We're going to talk about disrespect on February 15th because I just see too much of it. Women just accept way too much disrespect from men, from their kids, from their friends, from their bosses. It's just like epidemic levels of disrespect from other people, and y'all just take it. And then it dawned on me, maybe a lot of women don't really know what disrespect is. There is a series here. I did a 3-video series on disrespect in 2022. So you might want to start by taking a look at that. But we're going to really delve into this on February 15th. It's going to be one of the things I want to talk about. Okay? But yeah, this young lady, you better seriously think, because what that happened, that explosion, was over nothing. That was nothing. All he had to do was say, oh, I didn't hear you, or something along those lines. And then to talk about her tone, that's your mother and you living in her house. Motherfucker, she can have whatever tone she wants to. She would be getting out. And so you better realize you've been with him for 4 years. You gonna treat his mother who birthed him like that? and who's doing him a favor right now, letting y'all stay there to save money to buy a house. You stupid because you're not married to him and you want to buy a house with him. So it shows your intelligence is kind of low and sketchy too. You need to get your shit and get the fuck out of that woman's house and leave her and her raggedy son behind. That's what you need to do. And any money that you have in an account with him, you pull your money out and put your money in a separate account. You don't buy houses with men you aren't married to. I don't even know how many times I have to say this. Y'all are stupid as hell when you keep doing this. Just ignorant. I don't know what the fuck you be thinking. Buying a house with a fucking boyfriend. Some boys be just trying to use you to come up. You don't even understand what's going on. You want to buy something with somebody, buy it with your sister, your parents, your husband preferably, your sister, something like that. Not with some raggedy fly-by-night come here and gone tomorrow boyfriend. Yeah, nothing. I wouldn't even get a dog, a gerbil with a boyfriend. Nothing. If we're going to get gerbils, you're going to get yours and I'm going to get mine. Because when I leave you, I'm taking mine with me. I don't understand how they think. Just stupid. Question number 6. This is the female, the 22 to 27 age group from Montreal, Canada. The male's also 22 to 27. Summary of issue. My husband said that it's unattractive that I would rather work than be a stay-at-home mom. Unattractive. I'm just going to get straight to the point. Thank you. My husband and I recently separated in the sense of living together, but we are still married and have intentions to stay married, at least I thought. We were having a conversation a few days ago, though, and he asked if he gave me the option to quit my job and stay at home if I would. I said no. I just got back to work 3.5 months ago after being a stay-at-home mom to 2 kids under 2, and at 27, we are both 27, I am finally feeling like myself again. I love my kids more than anything on this planet, and of course I would love to stay home and raise them if I were given the freedom to still go out and have a life. But based on the 10 months that I was a stay-at-home mom, I was not given any time for myself because my husband was selfish and guilt-tripped me into always making plans around the kids, making sure he didn't have to take care of them all by himself. I got a promotion only after 3 months of being at my job and a big pay raise. I have always worked my ass off, and I've always been a hard worker and had a great work ethic. He says I'm built to raise kids. Wow. And he's built to provide. Me not having any freedom or independence drove me insane for 2 months. I understand how you feel. I love my kids, but I was never given a break. To the men listening, if your wife wanted to keep her career instead of being a stay-at-home wife or mother, how does that make you think of her? And to the women, has your partner ever looked down on you if you had a career and kept it even after kids are given the opportunity to stay at home? I mean, we planned it, right? I had a 6-month maternity leave. Well, actually, I guess it was 7 because it was 1 month before and 6 months after. So total of 7 months, but 6 months with the baby. And by that 4th month, I was ready to walk into the ocean or something. I'm not built for that. You know, some people are built for that, being a mom and staying at home, baking cookies and cleaning windows and polishing furniture and stuff all damn day. I can't do it. I have no interest in any of that stuff at all. And I just, it just was like torture to me. It was cute the first couple of months. And then after that, it was not cute anymore. And even she lost interest in nursing. I mean, she was want to sightsee and just, dawdle around and stuff. And so it's like, okay, once that happened, that was a signal to me that, I can get my life back now. So I'll pop the bottle in that girl's mouth and the rest is history. But yeah, and that was planned. We talked about it. We saved money for it. We did everything, that we needed to do to put all of that in motion to make sure that we were fiscally okay during that time. Didn't matter. I couldn't wait to go back to work. Yes, facts of life. That is very true. They are still commingling funds. They have joint checking accounts, joint savings accounts. I mean, buying cars together, all kind of dumbass shit. And it's like these women, they just get the husband and boyfriend confused. I'm not really sure when this started to happen, but they start giving husband privileges to boyfriends. And then when they break up, which of course is inevitable, then they kind of sit around and look all stupid with their faces cracked and their wallets empty because they got played. They played themselves though. Just stupid. Yeah. 15 years, 45 years. I still don't care. We not married. You don't get to unless you do it. Like I said, the only exception is if you set yourself up as a PLLC. You go to the lawyer, you set yourself up as a PLLC, and then when you buy the property, it's in the name of your business. Okay, well, then you have certain other protections. But, if you just a plain straight girlfriend and you ain't handling your business with an attorney and accountant and all that kind of stuff, you hella stupid. Hella stupid. Yeah, it's the man is the one benefiting. Because I feel like any dude that needs a woman to help him buy a house, he ain't no kind of man. Fuck out of here. Little bitch boy, I'm not helping you do shit. Nothing. I don't help men. So y'all, you women who's sitting up there, say, well, we went in together and we did this. You stupid. You're just letting some man use you. Giggles. Okay, Giggles done cooked once this entire year, and she got to come back in the chat and just announce every step. I'm going to talk about you. It's my favorite thing to do. I just can't help myself. All right, question number 7. This is a male in the 28 to 34 age group from San Diego, California. Summary issue: why is it so hard to find someone that's intellectually compatible? Don't you understand it's because most people are stupid? Look at all the people who voted for Donald Trump. And now he's sitting up there just busting their chops and they're like acting all like about it. I'm like, wow, this is kind of amazing. And then all the dumb women that write this advice column, I mean, it's like the intellect level of people just nationwide in the United States is just far below par. So that's why you're not. I'm giving you the sum up answer, but let's just see what you have to say about it. It's hard for me to date and see people without an intellectual connection because it itches something deep in my brain. I know it's subjective, but for me, when I say intellectually compatible, I'm referring to people who can challenge my perspective respectfully, contribute to the conversation, be receptive while giving valid criticism, and can discuss topics without a bias, not be condescending and want to broaden their horizons and so on and so forth. Child, good luck with that. On the rare occasion that I have found this person, things never end up working. And there's been 1 or 2 times I kind of clung onto the relationship because finding someone to have well-versed, in-depth conversations with is hard nowadays. Of course, I have these conversations with my friends as well, but we rarely see each other since we have conflicting schedules. I don't think I'm a know-it-all, but due to being on the spectrum, having parents that were educators and spending a lot of time alone reading and researching constantly in the first 18 years of my life, I've accumulated a lot of information that's all across the board. If I'm being honest, when I meet someone like-minded, it fuels something in me. I can go without physical intimacy, but intellectual, emotional, and mental intimacy is everything. And I feel they go hand in hand. Well, no, they really don't. You want to be doing all that discussion. That's just not sexy, not to women. Women like, it might be interesting for a time, but it's not romantic. Okay, that's not what's going to get her heart, make her heart flutter when she looks at you. Okay. You want to get all this intellectual, go join Mensa or some shit, some kind of group where they do speeches or research or something at a university. That's what you need to do. You have a lot of like-minded people. You might meet some geeky girl there who likes to do that kind of stuff and finds it exciting. But in general, that is not what stimulates women's hearts. So, you find it stimulates you, but women ain't you. And that's why you are having such a hard time finding a woman who's like that. Because women are built like that. We like to have them kind of conversations there and there, but we will have them, but that's not going to make her feel romantic interest in you. So you say you can do without intimacy. That's great because you already know it ain't going to happen. And you having all this other stuff. Yeah, he's a serious nerd, but he said he's on the spectrum. And he spent a lot of time alone researching and reading and stuff, while he was growing up. So, usually people like that don't really have good social skills anyway. What they do is their conversations are more like lectures. They're spouting off all the stuff that they know, and you're like a captive audience with, occasionally making a comment here and there. But I call them the little professor types because that's what it's like. Because every time you talk to them, it's like you were back in university, getting a lecture and the professors up there. Where they're going on and telling you all this old stuff. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah, Honey, kids is not more than a notion. You better think about that 50, 11 times before you get yourself pregnant. Because once you do, once you have them, I mean, I guess some people find a way to pass the baton. They make their parents raise a kid, or they get up for adoption or foster care, whatever. But in general, the expectation is that once you have a child, that you're going to raise it to adulthood, and it's going to cost you. It's a lot of money, time, energy, all kind of emotions, because they put you through all kind of changes. And so, it's just a lot going on. Let's move on to question number 8 of 25. This is a female, 18 to 21, from Jacksonville, Florida. Some issue. Whenever I talk to a guy I like, he has another girl on his mind. Should I just give up on dating? I'm just really sad right now. I just got off a phone call with a dude who I thought was pretty cool. I told him that I liked him, but we can start as friends since he's busy with law school. A few minutes in, he bombards me with how bad things are at home, how he just went through a breakup, and how he has feelings for a female friend of his who is out of his league. After that, I can never see myself dating him. I think he did that to scare me off. I cried a bit and feel so down. He could have just said that he wasn't interested. Why literally tell me that he definitely do a FWB with his female friend, but didn't want to ruin the friendship? It's giving me flashbacks of an ex I liked a lot, and all he did was constantly compare me to one of his exes, and I could tell that he missed her. Why date me at all? I don't trust men anymore. They'll always be thinking of some other woman. When I'm talking to them, I'm not thinking of anyone else. Even if I was thinking of someone else, I wouldn't mention it out of respect to them. Is there any loyalty left in dating? I'm so icked out by men right now. I kind of don't want to date anymore. Well, see, your mistake is, okay, so you talking to this dude. You thought he was cool, and you told him that you liked him. And you got in your feelings because you expected for him to say, "Oh, I like you too." That's not how that works. So see, when you start running around sharing that you have feelings for somebody who hasn't expressed any interest in you like that, and you decide to do that anyway, well, then that's just the risk that you take. So you put yourself out there talking about, "I like you and we can just start as friends," but he don't want to start as friends because he has never expressed any interest in you like that. Your problem is that you're jumping the gun. You have to have more than a phone conversation. You got to spend time around somebody and see what the vibe is. Is the man expressing any interest in you? Does he try to chase you down, call you, spend time with you and stuff, or is it all coming from you? Those are signs that somebody's into you. A man who is interested in you wants to see you. He wants to spend time with you. He want to talk with you. He want to hold your hand. He wants to put his arm around you. He wants you to sit in his lap and talk to him and kiss and cuddle and goo and coo and all this kind of stuff here. Lay your head on his chest while you watch TV. All that kind of stuff. That's a dude who's into you. If you don't have that and you have to be chasing him down, telling him that you like him, then chances are that's something that you should not have said, and what you said was inappropriate. Okay? And yeah, any dude, to me, sometimes men are just stupid and they want to tell you about other women because they think mistakenly, some men have this belief that it makes women more interested if they think that, there's other women interested in them or after them or something, like they can get other women. They don't realize what a turnoff that is. That's something that you tell a woman if you have no interest in her. You don't tell a woman that if you are interested in getting to deal with her, because she's going to put you just like, write you off. Because you're either A, too stupid to know how to talk to a woman, or B, you just too busy with all these other chicks, and that's where you need to go, over there with some of them. What you doing in my face then? So you can run around and tell people that I was trying to talk to you too? No, fuck out of here. Go take yourself over there where you want it, because that spot ain't over here. They are? Who would have 6 kids? Oh my God, I can't even imagine. I don't even want to babysit 6 kids, let alone have them. So, yeah, I had this dude. He was, I wasn't really, we were, in what they call the talking to phase, And he, had said he was interested in me and stuff. As they say, conversating with him. And this fool tells me, now I didn't ask him because I never asked people about their exes. I feel like if you wanted me to know, you would tell me. So I never asked. So he volunteered some information about his ex. He had been with some ex number of years, like a long time. and just say 10 years, 12 years, something like that. And he tells me how the stuff he used to do for her, right? And then he tells me I'm never doing that for another woman again. Well, then I'm like, I'm lost interest now because like you telling me that you did all this excessive stuff for this other woman, but you don't want to do nothing for me. What reason would I want to be with you then? And I told him that. I said, well, then, what you on the phone talking to me for? Because those are my expectations. Any man is going to be in my life like that. You going to do stuff for me. Otherwise, I don't need you here. I can do it for myself. But so, you got to at least match what I'm doing for myself or preferably do better. So then he just sits there on the phone breathing. I'm like, let me go. Let me go. And I hung up the phone and that was the end of that. They shouldn't be having a whole bunch of kids and you don't have no whole bunch of money. You know what? If these little girls start saying, I'll have a baby with you when you put $500,000 in a trust account for the kid for it to raise it and for it to go to university. If you can do that, then we will have a kid. If you cannot do that, then we're not going to have shit. You start making them do some stuff like that and see how many out of wedlock births there are and just shit'll dry the fuck up. You know what I mean? Kids are expensive. I had my daughter in private school. I mean, my whole family helped pay for it. Then she got a scholarship after that. But that still only paid for part of it. I still had to come out of pocket for the rest. I don't know what he was doing. But I mean, if it did, it backfired. Like he thought he was going to try to, because I thought of it too. Like he's going to try to say, oh, that's all right. I don't need no man to do nothing for me. I'm an independent woman. I can do, I'm not saying none of that. You in my life as a man, you going to do some shit for me. And that's just the way it is. You don't want to do nothing, then you don't need to be here. So he could have thought that, but I don't know. Cause I mean, the conversation ended there. So I never talked to him again and didn't really ask him. And to tell you the truth, didn't care. I just knew that he was talking some shit I didn't want to hear. And so that was the end of that. Question number 9. This is a young lady in the 20 to 34 age group from Memphis. Summary issue. I am an overweight Black woman who has never been in a relationship and have trouble making friends. Hi, ladies. I am a 28-year-old who has been struggling with being overweight for a while. I've never been in a relationship, and lately it's been weighing on me emotionally. I can't help but feel like a loser or a failure at times, wondering if I'll ever meet someone who truly sees me for who I am. What's been harder is seeing women in my family who have been in similar situations to me, overweight, not conventionally ideal by societal standards, but they've gone on to find partners, get married, and build lives. I'm genuinely happy for them, but it's left me feeling like I'm doing something wrong or that I'm just unlovable. I have 2 good friends who I talk to regularly and have known since elementary school, but they're close to each other and it's hard to make more sustaining friendships as an adult. Well, that's true. I try to stay positive, but these thoughts are getting harder to shake. I'd love some advice or encouragement from others who may have been in a similar place. How do you keep hope alive when you feel stuck? What steps can I take to build confidence and believe that a relationship is still possible for me? Thank you in advance for your kindness and support. Well, I guess I won't be too mean to you, but I'm going to tell you this. A lot of women, guys like, fluffier women. There's guys, men like every different kind of body shape. I can't even say that. Some of them like them girls that look like a damn skeleton. And then others like, women who are like what we would even call obese, fat, and they like that. Okay. So I can't say anything about that. All I'm going to say though is, building confidence, what are you doing for yourself to make yourself more marketable? It's time for some hardcore truths here. Certain things, like if you have, certain birth defects, you could find somebody, but it's going to be harder. There's going to be, if you're super tall, super short, if you're super fat, super skinny, too much of any one thing is going to make you less marketable in the single marketplace. So that you got a good age, but if you carrying a lot of, you didn't say how much you weigh, you can, weighing 300 pounds or something, it's going to be a whole bunch of dudes that's going to not really be looking at you like that. Now, if you want to do something to get more people's attention, You need to do something about your fatness. Do I need to be politically correct? No, because you wrote to me. So what you gonna do? You could get a pair of walking shoes and start walking a mile every day. Okay, you could do that. You could put down soda if that's what you be drinking, and them sweet teas because they famous in the South for that sweet tea. And you can change what you eat, and you'll start dropping pounds. You can do research on YouTube or on Google University about what to eat to lose body fat. I don't want you to do no crash diets. You just change the way that you're eating. If you're eating at your family's house, that might be challenging because, we tend to eat like how our family eats. It becomes a challenge to eat differently. But you need to, think about that. I mean, think honestly about it. I mean, could you fix yourself up? Because, one thing I noticed when I went down to Texas, there was a lot of big women down there. But one thing, because, I'm from California where we ran and everybody eating wheatgrass and jogging and eating alfalfa sprouts and whatnot. And I'm running around and stuff. And these were bigger, larger ladies. But one thing I noticed about them, they all had husbands that seemed to be very adoring, but the women were just so glamorous. I mean, just like nails whipped, hair whipped, makeup just on fire, and their clothes, they were flattering kind of clothes, not, necessarily showing all their talents and up to their coochies and stuff. They were age appropriate and body appropriate clothing. But one thing I noticed about the women is the way that they carried themselves, like they were regal. And they all had this little like sachet kind of thing, like their hips would be swaying. And so the men would all look at them when they went by. And because they just exuded confidence and self-esteem, and they took good care of themselves, it was in their presentation, how they groomed themselves. So I'm telling you all that because, you need to do an honest assessment of yourself and be like, what can I change about my presentation that would make me more marketable? And then just start doing those things. Yeah, you have to, love yourself and all this, but that's loving yourself is what's going to make you make these changes. Because you're not going to change anything about your personality and all of that. What you're going to do is make yourself better so that when you go and put yourself like on display, like at a store, they don't put raggedy shit in the window at the store. They put the whole complete outfits and they make it look good so you want to buy it. Same principle with what you need to do for yourself. Yeah. I'm telling you, it's just got to be, people just have to be more honest with themselves. But, you also have to accept that everybody ain't going to like you. I mean, it's men that think Halle Berry is ugly. When she was young and really cute, they was like, whatever. She too little for me and that kind of stuff. So, you're not going to please everybody, but there's always somebody for you. So here's question number 10, female 22 to 27 from Dallas, Texas. Third issue, help. My boyfriend and I have different spending habits. My boyfriend's 24 and I'm 22. We've been dating for over a year and I'm starting to worry that our different spending habits might cause issues in our relationship. Other than this, everything between us is great. Well, that's a big one though. I grew up in a very frugal household, so I'm naturally cautious with money. He grew up in a lower income home, but now has a good job. And from my perspective, spends very freely. For example, he eats out for lunch and dinner almost every day, which I know adds up. Well, I meal prep to save money. When we go out to eat, he orders appetizers and entrees, while I usually just stick to a meal. Lately, I've noticed that I've been paying for us more often, which is starting to bother me. He also buys luxury brands while I tend to look for bargains. These differences are making me feel stressed and worried about our future. How can I bring this up to him in a way that doesn't cause tension, or what can I do to manage my stress about it? I brought it up briefly before, but I'm not sure it really resonated with him. I don't know if we can last because of it. No, you're not going to last. Because trust me, if he's used to spending that free once you got married and your money became community property, he would be knee deep in your stuff and all this little frugal stuff that you have would go up in smoke. I suggest that you stop paying for you guys to do. If he can't afford, go Dutch and then let him pay for all his extravagance and you pay for yours. Start doing that so he can get the full brunt of his extravagance. Also, you can get luxury brands on discounts. Yeah, she says it's her boyfriend. They've been together a couple of years or something. You can buy luxury brands on sale on clearance at like Nordstrom Rack and stuff like that. So he can still get his fancy pants stuff when you get a discount. But well, how can you bring this up to him in a way that doesn't cause tension? You're not going to worry about that. What you're going to do is say, look, I'm very concerned about the way that you spend money versus the way that I view money, as we seem to have some real incompatibility here. And I'm concerned that it's going to mess up our relationship. And I want to run it by you. Say, well, you do this and I do this. So you're spending this and I'm saving this. And then when we go out, you spend so much of your money, you expect me to cover the difference. And I'm not going to do that anymore. So if we go out from this point forward, we're going to go Dutch. You're going to pay for yours and I'm going to pay for mine. And that's just how it's going to be. And then, ask him what he plans to do to make sure he starts saving some money, because the way that he's doing things now, he's not going to save any. So you ask him and see what he says. He might say he don't want to save no money. He's not trying to be like living for the future. He wants to live for now. In which case, there's your answer. You already know he ain't the one for you. Yeah, he's special. I mean, for breakfast, dang, you could buy some shit at Costco and just throw it in the microwave. You don't have to eat out all the time. Question number 11. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Derby in the East Midlands in the UK. Summary of issue. My boyfriend constantly comments on my belly and I don't know how to handle it. You get a new boyfriend, that's how. Is this a trick question? I am 30 and I've been struggling with eating disorder since I was a teenager, moving from anorexia to occasional binge eating disorder. I am in a much better state over the past 2 years following therapy, but food noise is still something that I struggle with. I do exercise enough and I generally like my physique. I'm 1.67 centimeters, 60 kilograms, but ideally I would like to make my tummy a little bit flatter. That's such a white girl thing, y'all and your tummies. I struggled a lot in the past with accepting my body image, and my boyfriend of the past 1.5 years knows about this already. My boyfriend is 32 and is a very sarcastic person in general and makes such comments for himself, his friends, including me. I do accept most of these comments, but the ones related with weight are very thin line for me, given my past, and I explained it plenty of times. Well, back in May last year, he commented how he would like me to become a bit more muscular in the legs. So I tried doing more lower body exercises to improve this, and I did while being on the verge of falling into anorexia again. Over the past month, he keeps on commenting on my tummy and how I should be tighter in a kind of funny way. But I'm trying to explain several times that given how many times he is saying it, it generally gets very annoying. Yesterday, we had a more intimate moment, and he literally said, during intimacy, turn on the other side because I don't want to see your tummy. The moment was obviously lost, and he apologized several times after saying it was a bad joke. I told him for the first time that this would bring me in a serious thinking about our relationship, because I can't be with someone that keeps opening one of my wounds. Then why the fuck are you still there? He done it dozens of times, and all you keep doing is running your mouth and you're still there. I was trying to look like things were okay because there was no point of not speaking with each other, but I don't know how to handle it and if it's worth considering to break up with him. Thought you were supposed to break up with his ass a long time ago. You were supposed to break up with him after the first time when you told him that that you don't like it, and then because of your history with food, and he did it again. That was the day that you were supposed to break up with him. So all the stuff with him, talking about your belly and you need to develop your legs and all that stuff. See, none of that would happen because you wouldn't have been with him. But you allowed, like I said, disrespect women. I don't understand what it is. Y'all just accept disrespect over and over and over and over again. And then you want to stay in a relationship. Yeah, they dust ball. Hey, Angel. Yeah, I just don't understand. I don't understand. I cannot tell you what kind of fool I would have acted. Like, get more muscular in the legs. Why don't you get more muscular in your junk? Because it's looking rather slim and really not really hitting it right about now. So why don't you go and do some, well, I won't say the foul, funky things that I would say, but you're getting the gist of it. I would direct his attention to some body part that he need to bulk up. You're talking about somebody else. Let's talk about you right now. Yeah. I'm telling you, I would have been so mad. So you can't even keep your mouth closed enough the 10 minutes that you was going to deliver a fund, which really is not enough, but it was going to be 10 minutes anyway where you wasn't shutting up and you couldn't even do that. No, I cannot believe it. Ooh, I'm in awe that she took that and is still in writing to ask if that's enough to break up with. I would have broken with him on the spot. Wow, I don't even know what to say. Question number 12. This is a male in the 20 to 34 age group from Brownsville, Texas. Sorry, issue. Young lady I've been dating asked for a break with me. Is it just a nice way to end things? Well, what do you think? I done told you all a break is broken up, but nobody wants to believe me. We've been seeing each other since September, and from October to January, things seem pretty good. Maybe we saw each other too frequently during that time, but our connection felt really strong, really unlike any I've ever had in past relationships, which may have been partly caused by the physical aspect of things after I've been reflecting on it. In November, she got me a dog, and I gave her a couch from my place that I didn't need. She got me gifts for my birthday as well as we exchanged gifts for Christmas. From New Year's on, though, something has changed. I noticed she was suddenly not contacting me as much or seeming as interested in seeing me on the weekends like it had been. I had a hard time over the holidays, and I don't live near family. It was my first year alone away from them as I divorced, so mentally I was a little down. And I think I came across as suddenly needy when I sensed the shift of her pulling away. Last weekend she came over, but something seemed off. I texted her that night about it, and she finally told me that she wanted a break for now to think about what's best for her. I said, okay, thanks for the time we shared. It was nice. To which she replied that she didn't want to never see me again, which I thought was confusing. I've noticed she still has been looking at my IG, but I think she hid her stories from me. Yeah, because she got some other dude. At 32, I have learned to let go of things and not have expectations from others. And I'm just going to keep my life going and work on myself and try not to look back. But I'm just looking for any perspective on this. If this is a way for a woman to break up without really being honest, or if it's really that she has lost the same interest she had and the space may give a possibility of reigniting it. Nope. Women don't never reignite. That is a fallacy. Okay, because by the time we get to the point where we break up with you or ask for a break or walk away or whatever we're going to do, we've already gone through all those phases. We have mourned the relationship. We've always thought about all the possibilities of ways to fix it. We've done all of that. So by the time we tell you that we're done, we're done. It's over. It's a wrap. Okay? So you did right to tell her, well, thanks for the time and this and that. But she want to come back with, well, it doesn't mean she's never going to see you. That's when you were supposed to say, no, I decide that. And one thing I don't want in my life is somebody who don't know where she want to be and what she want to do and who she want to be with. So you later for you, broad, and when you hung up from her, you're supposed to block her. You don't let, and then you go on your IGs and all your other social medias and block her there too. That's what you're supposed to do. And anybody connected with her. So they can't be, looking and running and telling her stuff. That's how you're supposed to handle people like that. You don't let them decide what you're going to be doing with your life and your time. So, I mean, you did, kind of walk away, but the fact that you're still thinking about it, if that's what she wanted you to do. She wanted to still be on your mind because it's an ego boost for her. So like I said, you were supposed to, as a man, stand up with your testosterone and your deep voice and whatever you was going to do and tell her, oh, hell no, you're not going to do that to me. I'm not going to allow that kind of behavior. You don't want to be with me. Stay gone and get out of my life. Stay. Wherever you're trying to go now, you stay over there because this shit here is over. Yeah, I'm just like, I wish I would be sitting around waiting for somebody to come back and pick me. It's a male pick me. This is terrible. I had no idea there was such an animal. Question number 13. This is a female in the 18 to 21 age group from Bend, Oregon. Males 22 to 27. So 18 to 21, 21. Okay. I need to make more time. I need to make more time for myself in my relationship with my partner. And you're only in the 18 to 21 age group? My partner's 25 and I'm 21. We have been together for about 7 months now. And over time, I have truly found a best friend in him. Before we met, I was going to the gym every day, journaling, reading, working, etc. Just really doing things for myself and by myself. I've always been this way. We hang out now quite often, some days 4 days a week, and that will be in a row. The only time away we have with each other on those days is work, the days before the weekend. Over the past couple of months, I've realized I've caught myself in an anxious cycle of getting really annoyed with him and what we do when we hang out, nitpicking, finding problems with a lot of things, and just feeling really restless some days when we are together. Ooh, I know that feeling. I'm going to tell you guys a story. I understand this is a result of me not fulfilling my own needs and not taking time for myself. I think subconsciously over time, I have expected him to fulfill these needs and have placed unrealistic expectations upon him. I realize this is not fair for either of us. I realize today that I need to take a step back and spend more time for myself while also balancing my relationship with him so I can show up better for myself and for him. Also, so I'm leaving space to see and feel improvement and also feel closer to myself and him. A part of my brain gets so anxious that I haven't been doing this that I just want to run away from the relationship and isolate myself. How could I make time for myself in a healthy way? You just tell them, I'm going to spend, you just put, say, I'm going to, next week, I'm going to spend 2 days with you. And the week after that, I'll spend 2 days with you. And the week after that, I'll spend 3 days with you because I need more time to myself. I'm starting to feel crazy. I feel like I'm losing myself. I haven't been able to do any of the things that I like to do because I'm with you too much. And between work and, whatever else, I just can't do this. It's really messing with my head. That's what you're going to tell him. I laugh because, some of the stuff, well, most of these problems these people have, they did it to themselves. If you really be honest with them about it, they did it to themselves. I mean, they just they don't have any boundaries. Like her. She's somebody spend 4 days a week, 4 days in a row with her. If that's not really what you want, then you're supposed to speak up and tell them after the first time. Now, let me tell you my story. I love to have my side story. Okay, now this is before. This was when I first started dating the man that I later married. It took me some time. I had to get used to it because I don't know. He just wanted to be around me all the time, and it just making me feel crazy. Okay, so he came over. Let's see. I think it was Thursday. He picked me up from work. Okay, so he was there Thursday night. And then he got up. I think I had Friday off. So we hung out all day Friday. We went around. We played basketball. We went fishing. We just did like a bunch of stuff. And then that night, we went, a friend of his was in a play or something. So then we went to San Jose and we watched this play. And we came back and he's at my house overnight again. Okay, so then that's 2 nights in a row. So then Saturday, that's, you wash your hair, you want to do your face mask and get your nails done. And it's just like you'll piddle around laundry and just couldn't do all that because he was there. He wanted my attention. So, let's do this, let's do that. So we ended up ripping and running, doing all this stuff. Okay, so he wanted to spend the night again. So then on Sunday, he went to the store, he got him some beers, and he's turned on my TV and sit on the couch like he lived there. And he's watching football. And just like, just having himself a good old time, like he had just taken over my life. This was the 4th day of him being there. I thought I was losing my mind. I'm pacing back and forth like a lion in the cage, pacing. And he's like, what are you doing? And it just like erupted. I couldn't even control it. I said, I want you to go home. You've been here too long. It's driving me crazy. And it was the truth, but I didn't really mean to say it like that. You know what I mean? I did like him, but it just came out. Because it was how I was feeling. I want you to go home. Oh, and I'll never get that hurt look on his face. That was so many years ago, and I still feel bad when I think about it. Because there was no kind of softness to it. And it was just raw and hard. And his little face, he was looking all, and I was like, oh, you bitch. But whatever. He left, and I was like, hallelujah. And that was before Tyler Perry stuff even came out. I was like, hallelujah. And I was happy. I had my house to myself, and I could breathe. I could breathe. So, girl, I totally get what you're talking about. Been there, understand it. Yes, I did. I did. It was terrible. He used to remind me about that all the time. Remember that time you told me to go home? You told me to get out. And I was like, oh, yes, I did. So shut up. You still here now. So evidently I got over it. But yeah, I was pacing. That went on for about 30 minutes. I was just walking back and forth, working myself up, like getting more and more worked up, as I'm and he just watching me, right? He's watching the game and watching me pace back and forth until I just like blurted that out. So anyway, girl, I want you to don't get to that point, okay? Tell him now why you can control your tongue. And no, they don't. I mean, he was just so happy. He was just, I'm telling you, he just was happy, just sitting up there. I'm telling you, Sliver, like he owned, like he lived there. And just like, feet all up on the coffee table and stuff with his beer and the remote, beer in one hand, the remote in the other hand, just watching my TV. Okay, maybe I don't want to watch football all day on Sunday. Maybe I want to watch Lifetime. That's what me and my cousins used to do. We would get on the phone together, we would watch Lifetime stuff and then talk about the people on the show. I mean, it was totally stupid, but that's what we used to do. But I couldn't do it because I only had one TV and he took it over with some goddamn football. So anyway, that's my story about why you don't want to let this build up. You want to tell him now. Okay. Now I don't know when to go home. Oh, that was funny. Yeah, that was an interesting memory. And it's sadly true. Your friend over here just no filter. Okay, question number 14, male, 20 to 34 from Cambridge, Massachusetts. Summary of issue. My date says she didn't feel a romantic connection. I went on a first date today and first date in a while with someone I've been talking to daily since Christmas. And even though it went well, we were sharing and had a few laughs. And I did everything I thought I should do and wanted to. And he keeps putting all these side things, open doors, tucked her chair in, paid, opened up, and tried to be as much of a gentleman as possible. I got a text afterwards saying that even though she had a nice time, there was no romantic connection for her. Not sure what else I could have done, or if this ain't it is what it is. If this is it is what it is situation, even though I did everything I thought to be right, it just didn't feel it. I really don't get many opportunities to go on dates, and after speaking so much beforehand, I thought we were on better grounds. Can you explain what happened? Yes. There's relationships that look good on paper, and then there's relationships where there's no chemistry. So what happened is, even though you did all the right things and, you guys would have looked like something that might have worked on paper, when she met you, there was no physical interest. Now, for a woman, we need that chemistry because that's what's going to make us want to let you hug us, kiss us, and sleep with us. If we don't have that about you, then those other things will never happen. And God, you can't manufacture it. You can't make it up. You can't pull chairs out enough and put coats on enough and do all this stuff. I mean, those are things that you should do regardless, whether it's the woman is your mom, your baby sister, your granddaughter, your niece, your auntie, or a date. Those are things, if you are a true gentleman, you're going to do those for every woman. Okay, so don't just pull those out and think, it gets you brownie points and coochie points or something. That should be a part of your repertoire no matter where you are socially. Those are things that you do because you a dude and you a man about yours. Okay, so in this situation though, even though you guys had some, built up some basic rapport, which is enough for her to want to go out with you, once she actually physically was around you, she was not turned on in the least. And that's just the way it is. It is what it is. It's true. Because sometimes you have guys that don't do any of those things, and the woman just him looking at her, she's like, oh my God, and heart's racing and face flushed and all kind of stuff. I mean, sexual attraction is something that it just is either there or it's not. Okay? It just is there or it's not. Shay, you didn't get to hear the drama. Okay, I turned on my computer to get ready to stream the show, and it was a blue screen of death. I thought I was going to die. I didn't know what to do. I started doing all the little tricks. I knew what to do, and the computer just kept coming back to the BIOS screen, and it wouldn't do anything. I'm pressing F10, F11, I'm trying to do, boot up in the safe mode, and it wouldn't do anything. And so I finally had to get my daughter in here to log me onto her computer. I switched all my peripherals over to her computer. And that's how I finally got online 20 minutes late. But at least I'm here. Yeah, that was a disaster. Question number 15. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Greeley, Colorado. Summary of issue. I feel like I'm self-sabotaging my potential relationship due to jealousy. Potential relationship. Me and this 32-year-old guy met on a swipey thing. I am 29, by the way. On the first date, we really hit it off, so as if I'd known him long ago, since we talk on the phone every day and I truly see him as a potential boyfriend. We were supposed to meet this weekend, but I caught a cold, so I opted to stay in to recover. Well, yesterday he went to a villa and stayed overnight with a couple of friends he posted on his story, and it included both guys and girls. Even though we are not in a relationship, I keep thinking, what if he found another female attractive there and did intimate stuff with her, etc., and started to enjoy her company more than mine? I know it shouldn't matter because we are not in a relationship, but I couldn't shake the feeling. He still texted me today as usual, but because I kept overthinking about him potentially flirting with or even doing the do with another person, I started acting weird towards him. For example, whenever he asked me a question, I would just like it rather than actually answer. We then had the most awkward phone call ever as I still kept giving him an attitude due to what I thought may have happened at the villa. I think I may have sabotaged a potential relationship, and I really like this guy. Do you think he's going to move on because of this or not like me anymore? Did I really self-sabotage or were my feelings valid? What are your thoughts on that situation? I think you're incredibly immature and stupid to be in the 20 you to be 29 years old. You admit you know logically that he's not your man. You haven't even like okay, you went on one date with him. Okay, so you're supposed to go on date number 2. Don't you understand how psycho you sound? You talked to this guy on the phone and you went on one date and you acting like this? What would you do if he was like had dated you for 5 or 6 times? You would probably be like turn into some kind of weird stalker person. I'm thinking that the best thing for you to do in Greeley, Colorado is to block him and go on with your life because you tripping. You might even need some therapy because this is a bit much. Your reaction is abnormal. It's ridiculous and it's overly emotional. It marks all kinds of weird attachment. It's insecurity and just dangerous for him that you're thinking all of these things when none of that is even in evidence and he's not your man. You see where I'm going with this? Not one thing that you are mad at him about do you even know happened. And even if it did happen, so what? He's not your man. So he's free to do whatever he wants to with whoever he wants to do it with. Male, female, frog, dog, whatever. It's not your business because he ain't your man. So you having a reaction about it is ridiculous. Yeah, if I were him, I would leave you alone because you don't sound like you rap too tight. This, this don't even sound sane. Question number 16. This is a female in the 20 to 34 age group from Leeds in the UK. Third issue, overwhelmed by blended family dynamic and bad parenting. I just want some advice. Me and my partner have a child together. He also has another child from a previous fling that turned into a relationship. I was pushed to the side in pregnancy, buying stuff for the baby. All the planning and buying was done alone. Apart from scans, he would attend them and living separately whilst he had sole custody of his other child. We patched things up and was given an ultimatum. Since my child was born, he has stepped up and we all live together as a family. However, his child was living with him full time as the mother couldn't cope and just frankly couldn't be bothered. The child's been back and forth when she's had enough of being a parent. I've stepped in and I did the child care, school runs, etc. And then eventually the child's mom started seeing the child more and eventually staying at weekends occasionally and then asked for the child back. My partner agreed and I felt really annoyed, A, because I didn't think he was doing the right thing and protecting his child, and B, because I stepped in because of her absence and it felt like a stab in the back. Fast forward and she's been consistent with the child. Now she's met someone, although they do seem to do most of the child care and the school runs with the kid, and we have her every weekend, but she has moved away and moved schools. My stepchild's behavior is getting worse and worse. Cries every time they don't get their own way, compulsive lying, playing me and partner against each other, swearing. The child is only 5. Attention seeking, anger, and tantrums frequently and sometimes results in the child hurting me, will not listen to what they're being told, and just overwhelming and rude. I worry my child will see this behavior and think it's acceptable. If I bring it up with partner, he just brushes it off and gets annoyed. I'm at the point where I'm finding the situation to be too much and I'm getting resentful. If we separate, I worry about my child being around this behavior and not having me around to point out this isn't okay. What would you do in this situation? I'm at a breaking point. I would move far away with my baby and change my name and forget I ever knew this clown. But I try to get child support. Nope. I would forget the deed I even knew him. Because what's going to happen? Something's happening with this little girl. There's been a lot of changes in her life in a short period of time. Her parents split up. Okay, then she's going to shuffle from back and forth. Her mother didn't want her. Okay, so if she did, I'm just running, I'm just summarizing the emotional trauma that this child has suffered at the age of 5. Okay, her parents split up. So, they was fighting and clowning before that happened. Then she's being shuffled from her mother's house to your house, back, forth, back. Then her mother doesn't want her. So she stays at your house. You step into the mom role, but you're not really her mother. And she's still feeling rejected by her own mother, and her father's stupid. Okay, so then the mother comes back when she got this new man. Who is this motherfucker? And what might he be doing with or to this little girl, right? Because the timing for all of this is rather suspect in Deborah's mind. These are usually when 5-year-olds act like this, there's a sign that something's happening. On top of that, they moved houses, so she had to get moved to a new house, and she changed schools. So you're looking at all of these on the stress charts. These are all things that are extremely high, even for an adult. And you expect a 5-year-old to be able to weather this storm by herself with no therapy, no support? The kid is like scrambling to keep her sanity and she's acting out because it's the only thing that a 5-year-old knows how to do. They don't have the vocabulary to express what they're feeling. I'm not saying this as a reason why you should accept this behavior. I'm not saying that. I really want you to, I'm just explaining it to you because I want you to reframe what her behavior is. You're looking at it like it's a personal affront to you. And I'm telling you, this is a 5-year-old baby who's trying to cope with all the stupid stuff the adults around her are doing the best way she can at 5. Okay? She can't do it. And so, ultimately, though, it's your sole job here, since it's not your kid and you're not married, is protect the baby that you have. Would I have had a baby with the man under the situation? The hell I would have. I wouldn't have had shit. But since you did that dumb thing, you'll have to figure out what you can do to protect your kid. Because this is the kind of situation when these kind of little kids are out of control, sometimes like babies don't make it. Bad things happen. It's all in the news. I mean, I don't need to tell you about this. So you think about where you can go and what you can do and how you can change your name and disappear into another country or something. That's what you need to do. Question number 17. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Overland Park, Kansas. Summary of issue. How do I start feeling nookily attracted to my boyfriend who is awful in bed? Okay. How did he get to be your boyfriend if he can't put it down? Where they do that at? Together for 7 years. Okay, so he been non-delivering for 7 years and you stayed with him? Wow. The whole time was me telling him what he should do to please me. Wow, you hella stupid. He gets to finish nicely. I don't. I've never had an O with him. So I am nookily frustrated. I tell him what he needs to do, but he doesn't want to do it, even though he always apologizes after we do it because I'm not pleased. Yeah, but you keep giving it to him anyway. So, I mean, he don't have to perform because he gonna still keep hitting his good time. And all you keep doing is complaining that you ain't really left or nothing. You ain't done shit. I'm always nice to him about it, so maybe that's my problem. Yep. Maybe I have to actually yell at him to do it. Things he needs to do to please you. Nope, what you need to do is go find somebody else and then come back and tell him how the dude did it and why it's so much better. That's what you need to do. This is a good part about not being married. You're single. You can sleep with whoever you want to. I love the person he is because outside of bed, he is absolute perfection and he's my best friend. But now when we get ready for intimacy, I think I get pre-mad that I know I won't get pleased. And that in return makes me feel like a toy for him. And that makes me feel unattracted to him as well. I'm just so bothered that he won't do anything that pleases me. And when I do let him know that I'm frustrated, his stupid ego gets bruised. And then the next round of us trying to do it is him unable to because he knows I'm not being pleased. Now I'm worried that with this almost perfect relationship might not work out at all because he sucks in bed. Is there a way for me to get physically attracted again? Nope. I mean, yeah, you can get physically attracted, but it's going to be to somebody else. I don't understand. I don't know. Is it me? Because by the time he, the second time was non-delivering, that would have been the end of that. Let's move on from this. This ain't going to work. And you can see this shit's not going to work long term. I don't care what you like out of bed. A couple, especially young at your age, as young as you guys are, a great part of the relationship is what happens in between the sheets. And he ain't delivering. And so he just have to be by himself. He wouldn't be with me. So, girl, I don't know what you're doing. You're sitting there for 7 years complaining, but you haven't really done anything about it. Get a fucking clue. Leave him alone. Go find somebody else. Question number 18. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group. Both of them, it says. High Point, North Carolina. Oh, never heard of it. Sir, issue. I would like advice on how to support my best friend through her divorce. One of my dearest friends, I will call her B, is in the early phase of divorce. This is the first time a friend of mine has gone through this. I've been there for plenty of my friends and vice versa during difficult breakups, but a marriage ending feels completely different. B has been married for 4 years and is absolutely devastated, and she texts me almost every day about it. B is 100% sure if divorce will be the final decision, but they separated last week, and her husband moved out for the time being. He is causing her emotional distress, constantly contacting her about coming home, but being unwilling to help out with their dog's housework and is not paying their bills. He was like this prior to the separation, to be honest, and has been unemployed for a year and a half now. Husband has been getting his family to harass her via text and calls, and it's all just getting super ugly. B has stated that she feels like this is going to be a very long and nasty split. Knowing both of them and their situation, I agree with her. I consider myself to be a great listener and very supportive. I'm a therapist by profession, but I've really run out of words to say. We live a 6-hour drive from one another, so our communication is all via text or phone. She texts me almost daily just to air out her feelings. Some days she loves him, other days she hates him. She's mad, sad, lonely, broken, and everything in between. It's incredibly appropriate for what she's going through, but my responses are starting to feel like a broken record. I validate her feelings and tell her I'm sorry, but I literally don't know what more to say. And I want to leave her hanging or just repeat the same words every time. I'd love some advice on what I should say and how to best support her during these ups and downs and the long journey ahead. And maybe some advice on how to eventually set boundaries, because at some point, I'm not going to be able to keep up with the sheer volume of her texts. Well, I'll tell you what I would do. You listen and stuff for a minute, and then you say, okay, yeah, all that kind of stuff. But you just being repetitive here. What the fuck is you going to do about it? That's what we're going to talk about. This is today. What we going to do tomorrow, next week, next month, and next year? What are you going to do? What steps have you taken to move your life forward? Did you get your money out the joint bank account? Because with him not working, I would sell them dogs. First of all, give them away. Let them run free like Free Willy. I don't care where the fuck they go, but I'm not going to be feeding them and paying vet bills for them. So the dogs got to go. I would move out of that house. If it was a joint rental property, just cancel the lease. If it's a home ownership situation, tell him the house is going up for sale. He can get his part of it or whatever. And then I would move, deuce out and be gone. So, she needs to start making a plan for what she's going to do with her life. So you redirect her energy, because it's like, this woe is me shit. We done that for weeks now, and you wear me out with these walls of text. I want to hear what the plan is. And that's what you need to start thinking about. And until you come up with one, don't text me anymore. That would be me. I'm very good about, with my boundaries. My nerves are shot. I can't do it. I can't do it. I want to hear what you're going to do to fix the problem, and how you going to come up, where you going to, take this hot mess, and how you going to dump this loser. Let's talk about that. She's only married 4 years. It's not like they was together for 20 years or something. She's being too fucking dramatic anyway. Question number 19. This is a female in the 28 to 34 age group from Independence, Missouri. Summary of issue. Has anyone noticed how hard it is to find a guy who really fights for it? Fights for what? I am really not trying to say all men are shit or whatever. I have just generally noticed that no matter how great the love is, how long you've been together, how much they say they love you, even if they make certain efforts here and there, the men I've known are always very low effort and tend to be apathetic instead of handling problems with determination, because they don't really love you. That's why. Especially when there is a major issue coming up, they just give up or shut down or whatever instead of doing something about it. Sometimes I think that maybe I'm asking for too much. Maybe I have been brainwashed by stories of superheroes and princes. But then I think, surely there has to be more to this, is to say in a long-term life or love relationship, right? Because big problems will always come eventually, right? So I wonder if you and the other women listening have noticed the same or the opposite, and if men here notice that about themselves too or the opposite. Well, I don't know. We haven't had that many men here lately, because my schedule is just not conducive to having regular viewership. Now, I'll tell you what the answer is here. Men, okay, I used to do these presentations at this men's group in Oakland. I had to stop though because they were just too stupid for me. But I'll never forget, in one of the discussions, we were talking about love, right? And one of the guys says, well, women put a lot of stock in love. So if a guy says he loves him, women's concept of love is way different than ours. And they, have all this romantic thing that they think. So we will tell a woman that we love them because we know that's going to make her feel a certain way and she's going to do certain things for us. So, that got my attention. I'm like, somebody being honest. So they had to follow up some questions. Well, give me some examples, says Deborah. Because, I never like to think, I never assume that I know what somebody's thinking or saying. I always ask follow-up questions. So I asked him, I said, first I asked, do any of the other men agree? They was all, like this, about 20 dudes. And then I asked this one who said that, to give me some examples. And he says, well, for example, I think men play at love. Well, that really, I got the rock eyebrow on that one. I'm like, so what you talking about? They play at love. He says, I really don't think men can really love. This is coming from a guy, and all the men, they over there. We don't love. Our love is based on what you do for us and our ego, and how our ego gets boosted when we're around you. So basically they're loving themselves through how you're paying attention to and what you do for them and how you flatter them and all this old stuff here. How you make them feel, which is fine. But they're not going to give you that back because they don't really know what love is. Now, when you hear that, it sounds really crude. It sounds harsh. It's going to burst a lot of women's bubbles. But, have you seen anything that would make that not be true? I mean, there's occasional men who you can tell, have deep romantic love and passion for them. But you can count the motherfuckers on one hand. The rest of them are like all these comments. These guys are supposed to be in love, right? Look how they treat these women. As soon as the women don't give them what they want, they start acting stupid. They treat the women real bad, talk about them bad, and hurt their feelings and stuff. If you really love somebody, would you do stuff like that? Would you treat them like that? Would you disrespect them like that? Would you abuse them like that? That should tell women enough that these men don't love you, not the way you want them to. And if you're not getting the kind of love that you want, why are you there? Then a lot of women come back with, because I was preaching this all over the place, and they were like, well, then I'll be alone. But so you're alone anyway. Don't you understand what these men are telling you? You're alone anyway. You just have somebody who's using your body and using your time and using you to cook and clean and have kids for them and stuff like that. You're being used. They don't love you. They're not doing shit to help you. They don't want to do nothing to help you. It's all about what you're going to do for them. Physically, financially, emotionally, mentally. What are you doing to make them feel better? So, it's the same kind of thing. It's really hard for women to accept this reality. No, that's not how it is, because they love this. But okay, you look at how your man treats me. Show me where what he's doing to you and how he's corner cutting and using your money to gamble and doing all this egregious stuff at home. How is that love to you? I'm not understanding it. Where is that? And then they just look at you. Well, everybody got trouble. Love is about struggle. Every relationship, they have all these excuses. I'm like, whatever, lady, I can't tell you. But yeah, they said that. And all the men was agreeing that they just play at love. They don't really love women. And a lot of them online these days, they don't even try to play. They just straight up tell you the way that they talk about women. You can tell there's deep hatred there, resentment. So I don't know. I couldn't really see myself being gay, but I've definitely, you be giving these dudes a side eye. You have to really screen them to really know where his head is and what, if he's going to be the kind of dude you really need. Don't just assume because he said he likes you that you're going to get the kind of relationship that you need, because otherwise we wouldn't be having this column running for the last 30 years. And I only do 25 letters now. I used to do 50, 75 letters every week. They were laughing about it. Well, these guys weren't laughing, but I mean, it's the same kind of thing. They don't, women really need to get over this love thing and marry men for money or whatever else benefit you're gonna get out of it. You do just what they do. You go for what the benefits you're gonna get out of it. And don't have kids. That's the number one thing. Don't fuck up your body having kids for these motherfuckers. You end up with all kind of problems and stretch marks and shit. No. Wow, that's really sad. Well, they being honest. What can you say? Yeah, but people when I first came back and was saying that, they were like, you lie, you made that up. I'm like, I couldn't even conceptualize to say some shit like that. That came straight from these dudes. And I was just amazed. These was all black men, just in case somebody's wondering. This was a black men's group. And I was like, wow. So I messed around with them a couple of more times, and after I deleted them along. I was like, y'all is toxic. I can't do this. Question number 20. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group. She's black from Norman, Oklahoma. Summary of the issue. Is it okay for me to be angry? Should he have mentioned that he has kids from the start? I'm a 25-year-old female, and I was talking to a 31-year-old male who I met off of a dating app. We texted for about 2 weeks before we met in person, and everything seemed to go well. For our first date, he booked us reservations at a nice dinner, and things were going well until the second half of the date when he said, there's something I need to tell you, and proceeded to tell me that he has 2 children. Deb, I was shocked and a bit irritated because he didn't have any information on his profile indicating he's a single dad, nor told me anything in the 2 weeks we texted every day. He wanted to go on the second date, but I respectfully declined. Personally, I just don't like the idea of being with someone who has children as someone who doesn't have children of my own yet. So regardless, it wouldn't have worked for me. I'm just irritated he didn't mention it earlier. Wouldn't that be important enough to mention right away, or am I just overreacting? I just feel like it could have saved us time from being wasted on both sides. Well, no, you said you putting all the responsibility on him, because I'm not hearing where you asked him, did he have children, and he lied to you. You never said that. So obviously you just never asked him. Anything that's important to you, you need to open your goddamn mouth and ask. So you're talking to a dude in the first couple of days or something, you say, well, I don't have any children. Do you have any? And then he would have said, yes, I have 2. Or if he would have said, I don't have any, then you would catch him later. No, he lied. But either way, if you don't ask, then you can't charge nobody with a crime for not volunteering information. That's not how the real world works, especially when you're involving minor children. I tell women not to lead with their kids, especially if the men ask, are they boys or girls on their ages? Because that's what pedos go after. They have a target, a target range. They like boys, they like girls, and they like a certain age range. So you start putting that on your profile, you're going to get a whole bunch of people that's not in their interest is not in you. It's in getting access to your babies. So I tell women all the time, don't put that on their profile. And I think men shouldn't either. Children should be left off of dating apps altogether. There should be no photos or no mention of your children on a dating app. Just don't do that. Don't do that. That's dangerous for your kids. So I'm not mad at him for it. I think, it was your first date and he told you on the date, you mad about it, but that's your fault. You should have fucking asked him then. Well, I think they should hide the kids on the swipey things because it's nobody's business the age or gender of your children, your minor children. They should not be on a dating app. That is an adult platform. If you're not interested in the parent, then you have no business in going to screen through and flip and see who got little kids. Ask this question, and when you start talking to the person, you ask them. But that should never be on a dating app. Ever. That information should not be posted online. It's just too dangerous for the kids. It's just too dangerous. But if that's that important to you, ladies, then ask. Same with the dudes. Open your mouth and ask. Question number 21. This is a female in the 22 to 27 age group from Oceanside, California. The male in question is 35 to 42. Third issue. Did I overreact because I'm not clear on what my married coworker was thinking? So this is what happened. My married coworker is almost 40 and I'm 27. Some old codger. One day we were discussing something work-related and he suddenly changed the topic and shared something along the lines of people get into a relationship when they're young and then they get married, and then years will pass by just like that, because people often only knew what they disliked in a potential partner when they were young, but they did not know what they loved the most. Okay, so here we go. Then they asked me whether I have any friends who broke up after many years of dating. I felt slightly uncomfortable when he said that, so I changed the topic. Deb, what was he implying? Was he talking about himself, a friend, or is it just an awkward overshare and nothing else? Some background. We do have a close working relationship, and we have always been professional and friendly with each other and no contact outside of work. Though on 2 other occasions, we were chatting about something completely random on shopping, and he started saying his wife isn't as frugal as me and will splurge on random stuff. And on another occasion, I said, I won't give up on my career for whatever reason. And he said his wife wouldn't be like me if she had a chance and would be a couch potato at home. I found it weird, so I just ignored the comments. What is this guy thinking? Am I possibly reading too much into it and overthinking his intention? No, because he has no business to be telling you about his wife. And that's what you're supposed to tell him. Let me see okay, he's 40, and do you know people who broke up after many years of dating, and you were supposed to say, no, I'm not old enough for that to have happened yet. That's what you're supposed to tell him. To remind him that your ass is ancient. I'm not even 30 and you're already 40. Okay. Then, so you did change the topic though. And then he's like talking about his wife isn't frugal and stuff. And then what you're supposed to say is, okay, let's say his name is Bob. And you say, Bob, I think it's inappropriate for you to be telling me negative things about your wife. I'm going to ask you to stop doing that and to never do that again. I don't wish to hear any comments about your wife, positive really or negative. It's inappropriate. And you shut that shit down. Why you just sit there and just let him keep doing that? I do that even with women I used to work with. They want to talk about their husbands. I'm like, I don't want to hear about your husband and his problems. And so, and his issues and your issues with him, that's y'all's personal business. Keep that at home. Well, I'm just venting. I'm like, well, vent with your friends. It's inappropriate for the office. I don't know you guys like that. And I'm not trying to. And then I'm thinking like, shit, then I'm going to see your husband at the Christmas party and I'm going to be knowing all his business. That's just, why would you even do something like this? Stupid. Children are dogs? Yeah. Ooh. Dogs. Yes, I can't do dogs. Cats either. That dander. Oof. So yeah, this thing, I get a lot of questions in this column from young girls, young women, young ladies, well, teenagers too, say from like 18 to about 30, that don't know how to conduct themselves in the workplace. When they have a situation with these older dudes feeling them out, and some of them are just very overt, but they start, these little lines to try to feel you out to see if you're stupid and what kind of game they can run on you, if you open to the nonsense they about to spit, the game they about to spit, and all this kind of stuff. These are all tests. You have to shut it down. Okay? You shut it down. And the way you have to do it immediately. You don't let them get started on the roll like you did, 3 or 4 times. He's doing a thing talking about his wife and stuff. So you can't never, if he hit on you, ever say you didn't know he was married, because you did. But see, that's what he's doing. He's just oversharing information about it, but you need to shut it down. That's on you. These old crusty ass motherfuckers always trying to come up on some young girl. And I want you to stop talking to, the other thing that I think, young women think you come out of school where we're dealing with fellow students. And you guys have, your peers. So you have, you socialize together, you go to frat parties, you go to the games and all stuff. So you're used to socializing and sharing things. When you go into the workplace, keep your mouth closed. You don't need to tell people all about your business, your goals, your dreams, what you would and wouldn't do with your life and all this kind of stuff. It's not their business. You keep the stock. You talk about your dog, your cat, maybe a recipe you tried, something you read online that was interesting. Some just, your dog went to the dog park and played, and some basic shit, just something, but it's not personal about your life, about your decisions, about your choices, about your money, about your family, about your relationships, about your friends. Nothing personal about where you live, your neighbors, your sisters, your friends' money, your friends' raises, the car your friends got, the bonus your friends got, your friend's boyfriend, your friend's husband. You don't talk about any of that kind of stuff at the office. Keep your goddamn mouth shut. You go in there and you just try to be friendly, and you think that telling all these people your business like that is friendly, it's inappropriate, and it's going to set you up. Okay? Really pay attention to this. This is a problem. Because then you get friendly with you be talking to somebody's husband, and they, you set up yourself up to start sharing personal information, and then they're going to come back and they're going to ask you more and more questions. And then you're going to feel like, well, I already told them this stuff. So then you just start answering. And the next thing you know, your ass is in a situation. Whereas if you had kept your mind right and realized you don't need to be sharing information about yourself or any female that you know, your money, nothing, with married men on your job, really no men on your job, whether they're single or not, but especially the married ones. Okay? Don't do that. Them old lecherous fools. And you, like I said the last couple of weeks ago, you don't know about these men's wives and girlfriends. Some of these bitches is crazy. They will wait for your ass in a parking lot, and then you will disappear or have your ass kicked and maybe in the hospital. All kinds of fucked up. So you better watch what you do when you begin friendly with some man who's some other woman's man. Because these women, some of these chicks are just crazy. Like you see the girl who we read, I mean, she's not even dating the dude yet. And she already got an attitude about him might be with somebody else and all this stuff. So that's the kind of stuff that you possibly dealing with. And some of these women don't mind going to prison. Your ass would be in a funeral home, and they will be in prison, all because you couldn't keep your mouth shut talking to somebody else's husband or boyfriend. Okay, learn to keep your mouth shut, and you ain't going to lunch with them. You ain't going to happy hour drinks with them unless it's a whole gang of people. When the gang leaves, you leave. You're not gonna be sitting in there having a one-on-one conversation with them. You're gonna sit at the table surrounded by everybody else, and then if anybody asks you any personal questions, you're just gonna ignore it or say that's an inappropriate question. I'm not gonna answer that. You shut shit down. Oh no. I had a coworker who tried to do some shit like that. I reported his ass for sexual harassment. Because I don't want to hear all that. I don't care what you do. And I knew his wife used to come to work. I mean, I didn't really know her, but I was acquainted with her. I'd met her a couple of times. And I'm like, this is so inappropriate. What is he doing? So yeah, I reported his ass. Yeah, you have to shut the women have got to use their voices. They have got to, yeah. I'm telling you, I would not mess with nobody these married men. Don't do it. Do not do it. Question number 22. This is a female, 22 to 27 from Atherton, Greater Manchester in the UK. So an issue, why do dudes try to stay in contact? Well, that's easy. I don't know why, but I identify the behavior of some guys who passed in my life, and it's the same with men in my friends' lives. Let me explain. I say I dated with a man and all started just having funny nook and share time, but I started feeling more, and then I told him what I was feeling. I changed my mind and I asked him for the possibility to have a relationship, and he rejected me. That was painful, but I guess I understood because I broke the pact that we did at the beginning, although we were conscious that things would and can change. But 6 months later, he tried to still in contact. Okay, English must be her second language. In contact again. For what? It's not a sincere contact. He wants to have me as an eternal option, and that bothers me a lot. Why do they do that? And it's the same with women with question marks. Why just not leave in peace the other person? It's so annoying. Well, he wouldn't have been able to contact you if you had done what I said and blocked him. See, so you brought this on yourself. You created this opening for him to come in with this bullshit. And now you want to write me and bother my nerves with it. If you had done what I told you to do, when a man breaks up with you, he tell you he don't want you no more, you block him. There's no opportunity for him to come back in your life and getting on your nerves and getting on mine vicariously because you writing to me. But the bottom line is here. Let me tell you why they come back. Because you seem kind of brand new. He's coming back to see if he can slide in your bed. That's all. He still don't want you. He just wants some nookie opportunities to see if you horny, lonely, miss him, if he can run that game. Oh, I was thinking about you and the good times we used to have. It's the same old tired script all the time. Oh, I was thinking about you. Oh, we used to go here, we used to go there, we used to have fun. And remember when you used to do this trick here with your tongue and this and that and blah, blah, blah. Yeah, it's always the same thing. It's the same. What they're trying to do is get you in an emotional state where they get through their words, they trigger emotional response in you, and then you, not knowing the game, fall for it. And then the next thing you know, you're, in bed with him. And then he jumps up and says, oh, that was great. Yeah, too bad we can't get back together. I remember now why we can't. Or sometimes they might stick around for a week or two. And then suddenly it's going to come back to, they're going to wake up and remember why they left you in the first place. And then he's going to be gone again. So what you're supposed to do as a smart woman is don't let that happen. So when a guy is, wants to leave you, he don't want you no more. You never let a man have to tell you more than one time that he doesn't want you. Any woman who would let that happen is a fool. So he don't want you, you block him. So he can't try to circle back and run this game. Okay. Question number 23. Female, 22 to 27, from Eastleigh, I don't know, Hampshire in the UK. Summary issue. Unsure how I can have a relationship with my aggressive brother. I grew up in a household which was dysfunctional for many reasons. One of them was my brother with learning difficulties who has aggressive behavior. We were known to the local police, and he hospitalized my mom a few times. I used to dread coming home from school as he was aggressive to all of us. He was violent to my sister in private, and my parents didn't believe her when she told them. She now doesn't speak to any of us, even though I believed her. He literally tried to kill my mom in 2016, so my parents said they wouldn't have him in their house, and now he's in sheltered accommodation, which is paid for by the council. My family is very fractured, unsurprisingly, but I met up with this brother 2 months ago, so as he asked me to, and now he wants to meet up again. My issues. He said last time I saw him that he wanted to come off of benefits and move to the city that I live in. He said that he could do a few hours of writing about football as a work from home job, and then he didn't have enough money to rent a house. I told him it was about £2,000 a month for rent and £500 for bills, so he would need to be earning £3,000 to £4,000 a month. He seemed to think he can easily do this by doing freelance football writing. I told him that even with my years of work experience and 2 degrees, then I wasn't well off enough to rent a house there, but he wasn't having it. I'm worried that my parents will blame me if he comes off benefits. Also, when I was explaining how life isn't so simple and easy as he thinks it is, he became aggressive with me and he raised his voice. So it's a bubbling under the surface that even after being punched in the face during my teenage years by him, I just don't feel safe being around him. I don't know how I can sustain a relationship. Why do you want to? Why is this even a letter that you're writing to me? I don't feel like a bad person as all my other siblings don't talk to him and he has no friends, so I could be his friend. No, you're not going to be his friend. You're going to end up in a graveyard somewhere, you stupid ass. He's just really stressful. It's just really stressful. He seems to think coming to visit me is the start of his new life in the big city. If my parents blame me for him coming off of benefits and say I need to take him in, then I just can't. I don't feel safe with him. I want you, he said he wants to meet up again. You're going to say, no, thank you. Say, I noticed, you still have issues with violence. You raised your voice at me last time. I'm just not feeling it. And so we're not going to do that. And then you block his ass. You know what? Accident, family relationships, who you related to, blood by blood. You didn't have no say in that. That was strictly an accident. Okay, totally out of your control. The rest of the people in your family have more sense than you do. That's why none of them talk to him. I suggest you follow suit. I hope he doesn't have your address, that you weren't that stupid. Because otherwise, he's just going to show up at your house. Oh, my God. That would be a mistake. Let's move on. Question number 24. This is the next to last question. Let me show you guys how to do this. If you want to submit a question, it used to be called What the Fuck Wednesday, but I don't think I've done this show on a Wednesday in almost a year. We got to get in when you fit in thing. My schedule has been so insane. I didn't even tell y'all my auntie was back in the hospital for 2 weeks. So I was really busy with all of that. She's home now. She got out last Monday. So, it's just, I don't know. Just a lot going on. I'd be so tired most of the time. I just don't have the energy. I try to do my show, but I just don't have the strength and the energy, and sometimes not even the time. We'll see what happens. But anyway, those are the instructions. You go to debsterism.com/get advice, and you complete the form and submit your question. And if Tack Candace likes what you have to say, your question will be chosen for an upcoming column. We do this. We try to do this every week. Which day of the week? It's a mystery. So I suggest you hit that subscription button so you will know when I crank up the computer and decide to do the show. All right, so here we go. Question number 24. This is a female, 22 to 27, from Jersey City, New Jersey. Summary of issue. Men on dating apps can't hold a proper conversation. This is more of a vent than a question, but I'd like to know what you and the ladies think. Anyway, I have been talking to numerous men on dating apps, and good Lord, every conversation I've had just goes back to Nook Nook every single time. And she put periods in between. The conversations all consist of either them finding me extremely attractive or their Nook Nook fantasies. I cannot have a normal conversation with any of them. I think it may be time to delete the app. So I've been telling you that. Girl, first of all, you women, you get on these things and you have in your mind a mistaken belief that these dudes are on here looking for a serious relationship. I don't know what Kool-Aid crack y'all been drinking for you to think that that is even remotely true. All them dudes are looking for is a hookup, okay? A hookup. That's it. If you occasionally meet a guy who's not, he's like 1 in 10 million. The rest of them just want some ass, okay? That's all they're there for. And you up there acting all brand new thinking you're going to find your knight in shining armor or some shit. I don't know what y'all be thinking. But it's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So you're looking for them to have a conversation with you about something that's serious versus something about some nookie. And that's all they're there for. So what do you do then? When you start trying to have a conversation with them and they start talking about something nookie, what are you supposed to do? All of you listening, follow these instructions. You're on your phone, right? You're talking. And he says something about some nookie. You hit that button that says end call. And then you click the button that says block caller. That's what you're supposed to do every single time. Why do you do that? Because you are a woman with some boundaries and you do not accept disrespectful dweebs into your life. Why is that so hard for so many women to do? They want to have a conversation with the dude like he's a kid and don't know what he just did. Well, you shouldn't say things like that. I was trying to have a real conversation with you, but you were just talking about unnecessary conversation. Totally unnecessary conversation. He already knew what he was doing. He just it was a hoe test to see if he was down for the knuckleheadness. So when you let them know that you're not, you don't say a word to them. You don't need to argue with them. It's not about educating them. These dudes all know what they're doing is trash. They know they're garbage. So you just block them. And then you go on with your life. Prepare for the next garbage dude because that's what pretty much all of them are anyway. Yeah, people kill me these days because they talk in that text language. It drives me nuts. NVM. This girl said that the other day in a meeting I was at. She said NVM. I was like, what? And she said, oh, I meant never mind. I'm like, okay. And my daughter, but she was in high school, so, she used to say lol when something was funny. But I mean, she was 17, so as they was her and her friend, they say lol. I was like, oh my God. I don't even know what to say. So our last question of this crazy show, question number 25. This is a female, 22 to 27 from Knoxville, Tennessee. Summary of issue. My boyfriend wants me to say that I'm his assistant instead of his girlfriend. Wow. If anyone comes to our door, I'm supposed to say I'm his dog sitter. When I go to pay bills, I'm to say I'm his assistant. If anyone asks, maybe it's because I'm not on the lease. This gives me the ick. I've tried to tell him that, and he says I'm immature, and he would just find a way to take care of it himself. When I tried to ask them why they'd even ask who I was and why they care, he just gets defensive again. Is this weird to you, or am I reading too much into it? He's secretive, but gets mad whenever I don't include him enough. Like last night, I very casually told him I was talking to some people on social media, and he said, I was inconsistent with my communication, that I had all day to tell him this, and that I'm essentially not as transparent as he is, as he tells me even when he sneezes, which isn't true. Like, I get having our own private lives, but if he came up and asked me a question, I wouldn't give him some semi-manipulative answer or make him like shit for asking, make him, I think you meant make him feel like shit for asking. What do you think is going on here? I think what's going on here is you're stupid. I mean, you ask me, I'm gonna tell you bluntly, because you're with somebody who's just gaming on you. He has you there to help pay half the bills, so he gets to save money. He don't give a shit about you. No man who really wanted to be with a woman, was proud to be with her, would try to hide her identity and have her lying to people about who she and what their relationship is. That alone should tell you that he is not serious about you. So I'm not really sure what you're doing there and why you feel like this is your boyfriend. This is somebody who's got you living in his house, just using you financially and physically. You don't get it though, but I'm trying to tell you that's what that is. Okay. Anytime a man has a relationship, he don't want nobody to know about your existence, got you lying, and then actually gonna tell you what kind of lie to tell, and you go along with it, you hella stupid. That's all I can tell you, girl. You're stupid. Okay. So that's our show. That's the relationship advice show, the craziest show, the longest running advice show on the internet. Started on AOL back in the early 1990s and been going strong ever since on different platforms all over the place. I, of course, have aged considerably over these 30-something years. But yeah, glad you guys could join me. And look out for, like I said, we're going to make the, we got this February Day show coming up on Saturday, February 15th. We'll have a series of guests. We'll be talking about different issues. I'll have some polls. You guys will get to call in and make your comments and stuff. It will be lovely. So it'll be an all-day thing. I'm going to try to go to bed early the night before, so I have some energy. 6 hours of fun, okay? And lots of different guests for you to interview and to hear what they got to say. So it should be a good time for everyone. And other than that, that's about it. That's the end. That's the end of the show. Bye. If I can't make it play, well, yeah.